back here on CBS Sports HQ. A.J. Brown over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown. He's at the podium.
You know, I didn't play the last playoff game. And, you know, I was kind of in my head a little bit. You know, I just kind of needed that first tackle, you know, just to get me going again. And it was important. It was important to get going. So.
What happened on the touchdown? You got behind Jagger.
What happened?
What kind of play was it?
Which one?
The touchdown.
I had a double move. I fought through contact, and Jalen gave me a good ball.
That the turf was cheap.
Yeah.
I imagine that you already know that. What can you tell us about the turf? It was really bad, like you said, or it's normal like this in other stadiums in the U.S.?
Yeah, so certain grasses are, in the U.S., they're the same. You know, it comes with the game of football. You know, you can't pick and choose what grass you play on. You know, it wasn't that bad. You know, we changed cleats and, you know, you make the most of it. You know, and I think, you know, some of us did. You know I did after the first drive. And, you know, at the end of the day, we still had to play football because they had to play on the same grass as well. So, you know, it wasn't really a complaint for me, you know, so.
How do you think Jalen performed?
He did well. I'm sure he'll tell you he wish he could have some of the throws back. So that's a question for him to answer. So, go ahead.
We made it out for you under Mata hurt, and they did at halftime. What does the fact that you guys were able to turn this around say about your team?
You know, it was a good game. You know, they did really well on defense, mixed it up a lot, and it was going back and forth. You know, a lot of things were going to go wrong because it's the first game, you know. But we made adjustments, and it just came down to making plays. So.
Saquon had 24 for 109, I think. We didn't see that kind of line out of a running back much anymore. What does that do for your team just to have that well out that kind of just
Yeah, he played really well tonight. He should have had 4 touchdowns, and I told him, you know, but he did really well. You know, it helps us out. You know, when you get the ground game going, you know, it helps with the passing game. So we're excited, you know, that he's on that team, and, you know, he started the season off right.
AJ, I wanted to ask about, you're having a pretty long trip on the first game of the season, and no bye week afterwards. So how do you reckon this trip can affect the team's fatigue and stamina?
We actually do have like a mini bye. We play in like 10 days, so we're gonna do our best to take care of our body and get ready to go against Atlanta. You know, we're professionals, and we gotta, you know, do what's best and, you know, make it happen. You know, there's no excuses. You know, so.
AJ, how do you describe?
At least the flight back to Philadelphia will be celebratory. I mean, it's a 10-hour flight back to Philadelphia. So, you know, they'll have snacks and have a good time because it came out with the win. As you take a look at the Eagles' schedule, 12-2 in their last 14 Week 1 games. And you heard A.J. Brown mention who they've got coming up, a mini bye, as their Week 2 game is on Monday Night Football back home against the Falcons, followed by a couple of road games, Saints and Buccaneers, and then the bye. Not ideal that they have a Week 5 bye, but hey, that's how the schedule lines up. They do get 8 home games. That was a home game for Philadelphia. Not really, but still, it was a home game for them in the book.